Shalom and welcome to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. This is Meditation and Mindfulness with Rabbi Adam Kligfeld.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all those who are in my office here at Temple Beth Am. Good morning to those who might be joining on Zoom. Hello to anyone who is watching on Facebook. And hello to anyone who's listening to this after the fact on the Temple Beth Am podcast series. This is the second Friday since Pesach began, which means it's the second Friday of the Omer. And those of you who've meditated with me in the past know that for the most part, both my personal meditation practice and the meditations that I try to lead during this time are focused on the Kabbalistic overlay of the Omer, the 7 by 7 week grid. Last week we did a Pesach meditation, but we're going to do Omer meditations for a lot of these Fridays. And because it's a 7 by 7 week grid, and we're always going to be meditating on Fridays, we're always going to be meditating this year on Hod, which is a Hebrew word which in general Hebrew is understood as kind of splendor or glow, but in Kabbalistic terms, it actually is almost counterintuitive. It means modesty. A lot of the Hebrew words that create the sfirot, the emanations of God, mean something very different in the Kabbalistic terms as they do in modern Hebrew. So we're going to be doing Hod. Today we're going to be doing Hod of the second week, which I'll, explain what it is, and then next week, although I will not be here next week, Hod of the third week, and then Hod of the fourth week. So we'll be doing a lot of Hod. The second week of the Omer is the second Sfira, which is Gvura. Gvura in conventional Hebrew means might, right? Ozer Yisrael b'Gvura. I remember when I would teach Birkot HaShachar to my students, we'd have a physical act for each of the blessings. We'd say Ozer Yisrael b'Gvura, that God girds Israel with Gvura, with strength. We would like flex our muscles, right? A Gibor is a hero. But of course, in the Mishnah, Ezehu Gibor HaKovesh et Yitzro, who is a hero? One who conquers his own urges, right? So a hero in Mishnaic terms is not one with the weaponry of steel, but the weaponry of discipline. And the Kabbalah picked up on that and expanded on it. And Gvura is about discipline, restraint, the might that you have to not do all the things you want to do. It's a different understanding of might. Okay. So the whole second week of the Omer, we're supposed to be thinking about our Gvura, wrestling with it, reckoning with it. None of us is perfect. And on today, the fifth day of the second week, because today is the 12th day of the Omer, we're supposed to be meditating on Hod Shebagvura, the modesty of our discipline. It almost sounds like an Alice in Wonderland riddle. Like, how am I supposed to be doing discipline modestly? And I think there are many possibilities. There are two possibilities that come to mind that I want to plant in your mind before we go into the meditation. Is A, how do I do my discipline, my gvura, without being overly judgy of others? Because once you're in a place of you're disciplined about one thing or another, you can start to feel very pious about how disciplined you are. So what is the Hod of your Gvura? What is the modesty, the humility of the Gvura? How do you do Gvura and not tell anyone about it? Just be comfortable that you are in a better place in terms of your own urges. That's one possibility. Second possibility of what modesty means. Modesty means staying away from the extreme. How do you do your own Gvura? Moderately, right? How do you hold yourself to a standard of restraint, of discipline, but not overdo it, right? We can all think of things that one should be disciplined about. For instance, eating healthily and well. There are extreme versions of that teeter on the unhealthy, right? There are even humility can teeter on being done, overly done, right? There is Hod Sheba Hod, right? You could be so humble that you stop being good to yourself, and you allow yourself to be a shmata. So hod shebegvura is doing my discipline in a way that is not as much as possible judgmental of others, and that has its own limits, that I put limits on my discipline, I put limits on my limits, so that there is pleasure and joy and reveling and relishing in what it means to be me. Okay? So we could talk about that for an hour, but I don't want to talk about it. I want to just enter into our souls with that in mind. So if you have not already, I invite you all to close your eyes. I invite you to place your hands on your legs. You can choose palms up, which opens you up to the world and to the experience, or palms down, so there's a tactile connection between you and you. And first, primary to anything, let breathing come back. It's always been there, but let it come back consciously. Breathe yourself into a different mode. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Discipline yourself to breathe with intent, gvura. But hod, don't overdo it. Don't make the breathing its own artifice. Slow down your breathing if you like, but not so slow. Just breathing back to a core notion of sustenance for your cells, sustenance for your blood, and connecting back to the first nishima, first breath, in which the Holy One gave life to the first creature. Just connect your breathing to all of life. Feel yourself descending into the earth, into the embrace of this moment. Your body feels heavy in a wonderful way. You're not using any unnecessary muscles to hold anything up. Just submit to gravity. Same time, you may feel that you are beyond weight and mass, that you can fly, that your head is not only pointed toward the heavens, but you are in the heavens, you are of the heavens. Almost outer body, where you know you're sitting here in this chair, in this position, in this room. But you're also above and beyond, transcendent. B'Tselem Elohim, in God's image. This is the week of Gevura, strength not of muscle, but of restraint. Heroism not of the power you project to others, the power with which you wield your own instincts and urges and control them. Gvura. This week you are a spiritual warrior. This week you control, you conquer your basest urges. But today is Hod, humility, modesty, a pullback from an extreme anything. Hod Shabagvura. How do you live with restraint, but not with haughtiness, rather with humility? And how do you impose your restraint? Not excessively, but moderately. Hod Shabagvura. The humility of your restraint. The proper size and the proper application of your spiritual might. Hod Shabagvura. non-restraint, raw all the time, consciously and unconsciously. Every time you choose not to act on a feeling, not to say what you are feeling an urge to say, there is a gvura at play. Whether you knew this was the week of gvura or not, pay attention to what has been your restraint of the week so far. A moment of discipline. Could you have done it with more hod, more modesty? Can you do it less extremely, less self-reverentially the next time? Hod Shabbat. Come up or come back or come down from wherever you were. Let's share the closing meditation prayer. We'll say it 3 times together. May we and all beings have happiness in the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. May we and all beings have happiness in the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. May we and all beings have happiness in the cause of happiness. May we all be free of suffering and the cause of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. Say to you all, Shalom, Namaste, Shabbat Shalom. Have a good day, everyone.
You have been listening to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. If you enjoy these podcasts, we invite you to write a review on the Apple Podcast site or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about Temple Beth Am Los Angeles, go to tbala.org.